Hours after it passed both chambers in Lansing, Governor Snyder tonight signed legislation raising the state's minimum wage to $9.25 by 2018. The bill includes a provision requiring the minimum wage to grow with inflation once it hits $9.25 an hour. It also would raise the wage for workers who get tips to 38% of the minimum wage. Here's a bit of what Snyder had to say right after the House and Senate approved it.
This is something that's good for Michigan. It's good for the hardworking people of Michigan, and I believe economically sound in terms of hopefully creating an environment for long-term economic success.
Political reporter Rick Albin is up north for the Mackinac Policy Conference, where the minimum wage is expected to be a big issue. He has the story tonight from Mackinac City.
The Detroit Regional Chamber's Policy Conference will be looking very closely at three very important legislative initiatives. You just mentioned one of them. That is the minimum wage. And up until early this evening, we weren't sure that was going to pass. But now that it has, it makes the other two somewhat simpler. Before we get there, here's part of what we heard earlier today about a new minimum wage in Michigan.
Responsibly, we have moved the minimum wage up to a level that now is tied to an index, and so for a long time we can take this debate off the table.
This is a big win for Michigan's working families. We have not had an increase in the minimum wage in this state since 2006, in about 8 years. It is long overdue that we give Michigan workers a raise.
Now with the minimum wage out of the way, that could clear the way for two other big initiatives that people will be talking about on Mackinac Island. First and perhaps foremost, the financial package for Detroit. It's passed the House. Now, will there be enough Democrats to go along with Republicans to do it in the Senate? And finally, the big ticket item, roads. Will Democrats and Republicans come to some compromise to raise taxes to fix Michigan's ailing highways? Those are issues we'll be watching closely, as well as talking with Governor Snyder, Democratic candidate Mark Schauer, candidates for the U.S. Senator, both Republicans and Democrat. All this week, we'll be bringing you those reports from Mackinac Island. For Mackinac City, I'm Rick Albin, 24-Hour News 8.
We also got exclusive Epic MRA poll numbers for the U.S. Senate race here in Michigan, and right now Democrat Gary Peters is leading West Michigan native and Republican Terry Lynn Land. Peters with a 6% edge, but the number of undecideds is big enough to make up the difference. Again, Rick will be up in Mackinac for the policy conference all week long, and stay with us for all developments coming out of that conference and for in-depth interviews with the candidates.